There was a time when millions of families planned their evenings around one thing. Not smartphones, not streaming services, not social media, but television. Every week, living rooms across America came alive as families gathered around a single TV set to watch their favorite shows. Children sat on the floor, parents relaxed after a long day at work. Grandparents smiled as familiar theme songs filled the room. These weren't just television programs, they were traditions, and at the heart of many of these unforgettable shows were couples who felt so real that viewers welcomed them into their own families. Some made us laugh until our sides hurt. Others taught us lessons about love, forgiveness, and commitment. A few showed us that even imperfect relationships could survive life's biggest challenges. Decades have passed, but these television romances still hold a special place in our hearts. Today, we're taking a nostalgic journey back to celebrate the classic TV couples we simply can't forget. When people think about television's greatest love stories, one couple almost always comes to mind first. Lucy and Ricky Ricardo from I Love Lucy. When the show premiered in 1951, audiences had never seen anything quite like it. Lucy Ricardo dreamed of becoming a star. The problem? She usually created complete chaos trying to make those dreams come true. Whether she was stomping grapes in Italy, wrapping chocolates on an assembly line, or sneaking onto Ricky's stage performances, Lucy always found herself in hilarious situations. Standing beside her was Ricky. Played by Cuban-born entertainer Desi Arnaz, Ricky balanced Lucy's endless energy with patience, humor, and the occasional unforgettable outburst of Lucy, "You got some explaining to do." Their chemistry felt effortless. That wasn't surprising. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz were actually married in real life when the show began. Audiences weren't simply watching actors pretending to be in love. They were witnessing genuine affection between two people whose personalities perfectly complemented one another. Ironically, while their television marriage became legendary, their real-life relationship eventually struggled under the pressures of fame and demanding work schedules. The couple divorced in 1960. Even so, both continued speaking respectfully about one another for the rest of their lives. More than 70 years later, Lucy and Ricky remain one of the greatest television couples ever created. Only a few years later, television introduced another marriage that looked very different: Rob and Laura Petrie from The Dick Van Dyke Show. Unlike many sitcom couples before them, Rob and Laura didn't rely on endless misunderstandings or exaggerated arguments. Instead, viewers saw something surprisingly modern: a husband and wife who genuinely enjoyed spending time together. Dick Van Dyke brought warmth and infectious humor to Rob Petrie, a television comedy writer balancing work and family life. Mary Tyler Moore brought elegance, intelligence, and playful charm to Laura. Together, they laughed, danced, raised their son Richie, and handled everyday problems with affection instead of hostility. One famous episode even showed Rob and Laura dancing together in their living room, a simple scene that perfectly captured why audiences loved them so much. They weren't glamorous movie stars, they were billionaires. They were simply two people who respected each other. Even today, television critics frequently rank Rob and Laura among the healthiest fictional marriages ever shown on American television. Another unforgettable romance grew much more slowly. It wasn't built on dramatic kisses or sensational cliffhangers. Instead, it developed naturally over several seasons. We're talking about Sheriff Andy Taylor and Helen Crump from The Andy Griffith Show. When Helen first arrived in the peaceful town of Mayberry as the local school teacher, no one knew she would eventually become Andy's true love. Andy Taylor wasn't flashy, he wasn't rich. He simply believed in kindness, honesty, and doing the right thing. Helen matched him perfectly. She was intelligent, independent, patient. Their relationship unfolded gradually, allowing viewers to watch friendship slowly become romance. For years, audiences waited for the moment Andy would finally propose. When they eventually married in the television reunion movie years later, fans celebrated as though two close friends had finally found happiness after years of anticipation. Sometimes the best love stories aren't rushed. Then came one of television's most recognizable families, Mike and Carol Brady. The Brady Bunch wasn't just about 6 children learning to live together. It was also about 2 adults creating a brand new family after experiencing personal loss. Mike was a widowed architect. Carol was a widowed mother, raising 3 daughters. Together, they blended two households into one unforgettable family. Their relationship wasn't perfect. There were parenting disagreements, household challenges, financial concerns. Yet through everything, Mike and Carol remained united. They listened to each other, supported one another, and demonstrated that love isn't only about romance. Sometimes it's about teamwork. The Brady family home became one of television's happiest places because its foundation rested on mutual respect between two caring parents. Even decades later, many viewers still wish they could spend just one dinner at the Brady family table. Of course, not every memorable television couple enjoyed such peaceful relationships. Some became famous precisely because they couldn't stop fighting. No couple illustrates that better than J.R. and Sue Ellen Ewing from Dallas. From the moment audiences met the wealthy Ewing family, it became clear that J.R. wasn't exactly an ideal husband. He manipulated business rivals, schemed against family members, and repeatedly betrayed Sue Ellen's trust. Sue Ellen, meanwhile, struggled with loneliness, alcoholism, and the emotional toll of living in J.R.'s shadow. Their marriage seemed trapped in a never-ending cycle. Arguments, reconciliation, heartbreak, then another betrayal. Viewers couldn't look away. Week after week, millions tuned in, wondering whether their marriage would finally survive or collapse forever. Larry Hagman and Linda Gray delivered performances so compelling that audiences often forgot they were watching fiction. Even today, J.R. and Sue Ellen remain one of television's most unforgettable and complicated couples. Not every television romance depended on dramatic conflict. Sometimes laughter alone created unforgettable chemistry. That was certainly true for Morticia and Gomez Addams. At first glance, everything about the Addams family seemed strange. They lived in a spooky mansion, collected unusual pets, celebrated the bizarre. Yet beneath their eccentric lifestyle was one of television's healthiest marriages. Gomez absolutely adored Morticia. He complimented her constantly. He kissed her hand with genuine admiration. Morticia responded with equal affection, elegance, and unwavering support. Unlike many sitcoms built around husbands and wives constantly arguing, Gomez and Morticia celebrated one another every single day. Perhaps that's why audiences still love them. Their relationship proved that true romance never goes out of style, no matter how unusual the couple may seem. If there was ever a television marriage that defined family life during the 1980s, it belonged to Cliff and Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show. Unlike many sitcom parents before them, Cliff and Claire weren't portrayed as perfect. They teased each other. They laughed together. Sometimes they disagreed. But underneath every conversation was genuine admiration. Cliff, played by Bill Cosby, was warm, playful, and always ready with a joke. Claire, portrayed brilliantly by Felicia Rashad, was intelligent, confident, and more than capable of matching Cliff's wit. Together, they raised 5 children while balancing demanding professional careers. Their relationship demonstrated something viewers rarely saw at the time: a successful marriage built on equality. They respected each other's opinions. They celebrated each other's accomplishments. And even during disagreements, there was never any doubt that they loved one another deeply. Many television critics still consider the Huxtables one of the most influential families ever portrayed on American television. Regardless of later controversies surrounding Bill Cosby personally, the fictional relationship between Cliff and Claire remains an important part of television history because of the positive example it represented during the show's original broadcast. Another unforgettable couple couldn't have been more different. Archie and Edith Bunker from All in the Family. At first glance, they seemed completely mismatched. Archie was stubborn, opinionated, often grumpy. Edith was patient, optimistic, kind-hearted. She somehow managed to soften Archie's rough edges without trying to change who he was. Week after week, viewers watched Edith respond to Archie's endless complaints with compassion and understanding. Gene Stapleton's unforgettable performance transformed Edith into one of television's most beloved wives. Her gentle spirit often became the emotional center of the series. Together, Archie and Edith reminded audiences that lasting marriages aren't always built on agreement. Sometimes they're built on acceptance, on loyalty, and on loving someone despite their flaws. Then there was a romance that kept audiences waiting for years. Tony Michelli and Angela Bauer from Who's the Boss? When former baseball player Tony became Angela's live-in housekeeper, few viewers imagined the relationship that would slowly develop. Their personalities couldn't have been more different. Tony was easygoing. Angela was ambitious and career-focused. At first, they seemed destined to remain employer and employee, but with every season, their friendship deepened. Viewers noticed lingering glances, awkward conversations, moments that hinted at feelings neither character wanted to admit. It became one of television's greatest will they or won't they romances. Fans debated endlessly. Would they finally become a couple? Or would the writers leave audiences guessing forever? When Tony and Angela eventually acknowledged their love, millions celebrated. It felt less like fictional characters falling in love and more like longtime friends finally finding happiness. While Tony and Angela kept viewers waiting, another couple represented the picture-perfect American household, Ward and June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver. Premiering in the late 1950s, the Cleavers became symbols of suburban family life. Ward was calm, thoughtful, and dependable. June brought warmth, grace, and quiet wisdom to every situation. Together they guided Beaver and Wally through childhood mistakes with remarkable patience. Modern audiences sometimes smile at the show's idealized vision of family life. Yet beneath the nostalgia was something timeless: parents working together, supporting one another, and creating a stable home where children felt safe. Even today, the Cleavers remain one of television's most recognizable families. Of course, not every unforgettable television romance involved married couples. Some of the greatest love stories unfolded before the wedding ever happened. Take Sam Malone and Diane Chambers from Cheers. From the moment Diane walked into Cheers, sparks flew. She was sophisticated, educated, quick-witted. Sam was charming, confident, a former baseball player turned bar owner. Their personalities constantly clashed. Arguments became flirting. Flirting became romance. Then heartbreak. Then another chance. Their unpredictable relationship kept audiences hooked for years. Unlike many sitcom romances that quickly settled into marriage, Sam and Diane remained wonderfully complicated. Their chemistry became one of the biggest reasons Cheers became one of television's greatest sitcoms. Another unforgettable pair came from a show that celebrated friendship as much as romance. Doug and Carrie Heffernan from The King of Queens. Unlike glamorous television couples, Doug and Carrie felt refreshingly ordinary. They worried about paying bills, argued over household chores, dealt with difficult relatives, and somehow managed to laugh through everyday frustrations. Their marriage wasn't idealized, it was relatable. Viewers recognized pieces of their own lives in Doug and Carrie. That authenticity helped the show remain popular long after its original run. Looking across these unforgettable couples, one question naturally comes to mind. Why do we still love them after all these years? The answer isn't simply nostalgia. Although nostalgia certainly plays a role, there's something much deeper happening. These couples, the couples represented values many people still admire today: commitment, patience, forgiveness, respect, partnership. Some relationships were filled with laughter, others with conflict. Some survived enormous challenges, others reminded us that love doesn't require perfection. Each couple reflected a different version of what it means to build a life with another person. Television itself has changed dramatically over the decades. Today's series often move at a much faster pace. Characters enter and leave quickly. Relationships begin and end within only a few episodes. Classic television worked differently. Viewers spent years with these couples, sometimes decades, watching them grow, raise families, face disappointments, celebrate victories. That long-term storytelling created emotional connections that remain surprisingly powerful even today. Many younger viewers are now discovering these shows through streaming platforms. Parents introduce them to their children. Grandparents share favorite episodes with grandchildren. And somehow, despite changing fashions, changing technology, and changing times, these relationships continue to feel meaningful. because genuine love never goes out of style. Perhaps that's the greatest gift classic television gave us. Not just memorable characters, not just funny moments, but examples of relationships worth remembering. Lucy and Ricky reminded us that laughter strengthens love. Rob and Laura showed us the beauty of friendship within marriage. Andy and Helen proved that patience often leads to lasting happiness. Mike and Carol demonstrated that families can be built through love rather than biology alone. Morticia and Gomez celebrated unwavering devotion. Tony and Angela reminded us that the best relationships sometimes begin as friendships. Cliff and Claire showed the importance of mutual respect. Ward and June represented stability.
Archie and Edith demonstrated acceptance. Sam and Diane proved that chemistry can keep audiences talking for generations. Each couple offered something unique. Each left an unforgettable mark on television history.
Perhaps that's why we still return to these shows, not simply to relive the past, but to reconnect with feelings that never grow old. The comfort of family, the excitement of first love, the reassurance that even after misunderstandings, forgiveness is possible, the hope that someone will always be there at the end of the day. Classic television wasn't just telling stories, it was reminding us of what truly matters. And maybe that's why these couples continue living in our hearts long after the cameras stopped rolling. Because every time we watch an old episode, every time we hear a familiar theme song, every time we laugh at Lucy's latest adventure, or smile as Gomez kisses Morticia's hand, we're reminded that great love stories are timeless. They don't belong to one decade, they belong to every generation. If you enjoyed this nostalgic journey through television history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more classic TV documentaries, and turn on notifications so you never miss another trip down memory lane. And now we'd love to hear from you. Which classic TV couple was your favorite? Was it Lucy and Ricky, Rob and Laura, Tony and Angela, Morticia and Gomez, or another unforgettable pair? Tell us your favorite memories in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching, and keep those wonderful memories of classic television alive.